Yeah.
So your third module we are starting today, it begins with the scaling of MOS circuits. The particular topic scaling of the MOS circuits, it is related to miniaturization of various parameters of the VLSI fabricated devices. So in VLSI fabrication, okay, so the smaller line widths and feature size, they lead to higher packing density. So this is what is the main reason behind scaling of the MOS circuits. So that is whenever the line widths or the feature size of the transistors or the wires or connecting lines are scaled down, okay, so it leads to higher packing density of the circuits. So also the scaling of the feature size of the transistors or the wires, it leads to improved performance as well as more devices can be fabricated within a specified area. That is what is the main motivation behind scaling of the MOS circuits. Okay. And also the microelectronic technology is characterized in terms of so many figure of merit such as minimum feature size as well as the number of gates on a particular chip and power dissipation, delays, okay, like gate capacitance values, so many interlayer capacitance values, etc. Okay. So many of these features or the figure of merits are improved by shrinking the dimensions of the transistors. So it is not only the shrinkage of the transistors, also the scaling includes shrinking the dimensions of interconnections as well as the separating lines, adjacent doping levels, supply voltages are also scaled, etc. Okay. So therefore, scaling becomes an important part in the uh, uh, VLSI aspect. So there are several models which are going to give certain guidelines on this. So they are called as scaling models and then scaling factors. So there are two models in that: constant electric field scaling model and constant voltage scaling model. So these two are the models which are going to specify so how the various transistor dimensions or the wiring dimensions or the supply, okay, so they have to be scaled down. Now here this is a diagram showing a scaled NMOS transistor. Okay, so scaling means every dimension regarding the transistor, including the supply. Okay, so it is scaled down by a particular parameter. So here, as in the diagram, we can see that this thickness T is scaled down by alpha. That is, it is multiplied by 1 by alpha. Okay. Similarly, here the parameter length of the channel L is scaled down by alpha. That is, L is multiplied by 1 by alpha. Similarly, the width of the channel, it is multiplied by 1 by alpha. Okay. So therefore, here 1 by alpha is a scaling factor. Similarly, here D is scaled by 1 by beta. So by scaling down, the particular dimensions or a particular voltage level is scaled down. Its value is reduced or it is shrinked. Okay. So therefore, 1 by alpha is used for all other linear dimensions on the chips, whereas 1 by beta is chosen as a scaling factor for the supply voltage VDD and gate oxide thickness D. So here there are, according to these two models, constant electric field scaling model and constant voltage scaling model. Okay, 1 by alpha and 1 by beta are chosen as a scaling factors. So where 1 by beta is chosen as a scaling factor for supply voltage, that is mainly VDD, as well as gate oxide thickness, that is at the transistors at the gate terminal, whatever the SiO2 layer is there, its thickness is scaled, and 1 by beta is chosen as a factor for that. Okay. Similarly, 1 by alpha is used for the other linear dimensions on the chip surface. Okay. So also for constant electric field model, beta equal to alpha is applied, and for constant voltage model, beta is equal to 1 is applied. Okay. So this is what is the criteria in those two models to scale down the various features. So now let us see what are the various parameters associated with the MOS which can be scaled and how exactly the scaling factors are applied to them one by one. So the topic is scaling factors for device parameters. First one in that, gate area AG. Okay, so gate area, it is indicated by notation A suffixes small g, AG. Okay. Therefore, area obviously it is given by the product of length and width of the channel. So AG is equal to length into width, where L is length of the channel and W is width of the channel. Now, in order to scale down the gate area, that is in order to reduce the total gate area, okay, both length and width are reduced or they are scaled. Okay, they are scaled by a factor 1 by alpha. That is L is scaled by 1 by alpha, whereas W is also scaled by 1 by alpha. Okay, so therefore AG is equal to multiply both L and W by corresponding factors 1 by alpha and 1 by alpha. Therefore, it will be 1 by alpha square into LW. So that is nothing but 1 by alpha square into AG, because product L into W is nothing but AG. So therefore 1 by alpha square into AG. So therefore the total gate area AG is scaled by a factor 1 by alpha square. That is the meaning of this representation is whenever gate area has to be shrinked, whenever gate area has to be reduced, both its length and width are to be scaled down. So when both length and width are scaled down, then the total gate area AG is scaled down in effective by 1 by alpha square value. Okay, so we are applying the scaling factor individually to both length as well as width in order to totally shrink down the AG. So overall AG is scaled by 1 by alpha square. So this is the first factor which is scaled. Then we have one more, gate capacitance per unit area C naught. Okay, so what are all this? These are nothing but scaling factors for device parameters. They are device parameters there. Okay, so next, gate capacitance per unit area, whose notation is C naught. Okay, so therefore gate capacitance is defined as, first of all, epsilon oxide by D. Epsilon oxide by D. Okay, so where D is nothing but the oxide thickness it is. So now in this, the D is a one which is scaled down. D is a parameter, thickness is the one which can be scaled down. Epsilon oxide is a permittivity, it is a constant. Only D is a parameter which can be reduced. So therefore, the gate oxide thickness D is scaled by 1 by beta. 1 by beta it is. Okay, so therefore C naught is equal to epsilon oxide divided by D into 1 by beta. Okay, so that is equal to epsilon oxide divided by D. So the beta is transferred to the numerator. So therefore, this is nothing but this epsilon oxide by D is nothing but it is C naught only. So therefore, C naught is into B. Okay. Therefore, after scaling, the gate capacitance per unit area value becomes equal to C naught or C oxide into beta times. Into beta times. You can imagine alpha and beta values may be different. Okay, so some parameters are scaled by alpha, some parameters are scaled by beta here, as mentioned in the previous slide. So C naught is equal to C oxide into beta is the parameter gate capacitance after scaling down. Okay. Then one more capacitance is there, that is gate capacitance Cg. Okay. The gate capacitance Cg is equal to, first it is defined as product of C naught into L into W. Okay, Cg is equal to C naught into length into width. So we already know that the C naught, which is nothing but the oxide capacitance, it is already scaled by a factor beta. So therefore, the scaling factor for C naught is C naught into beta, as it is derived in the previous part. So C naught is scaled by C naught into beta, and the length, we know that scaling factor for length is 1 by alpha, scaling factor for width is 1 by alpha. Okay, so for individual parameter for C naught, length and width, the scaling factors are applied. Okay. So for C naught, it is C naught into beta, length is 1 by alpha, for W it is 1 by alpha. So therefore, totally now we have take the product C naught into L into W outside, this into beta by alpha square. Okay, so this constant beta divided by alpha into alpha, alpha square. So therefore C naught L into W is nothing but gate capacitance Cg. So Cg into beta by alpha square. Okay. So therefore the gate capacitance before scaling it is C naught LW, but after scaling gate capacitance Cg value is nothing but Cg into beta by alpha square. That is, it is reduced by beta by alpha square times. So that is one parameter. The other one is the parasitic capacitance Cx. Okay. Parasitic capacitance Cx. So the parasitic capacitance Cx is proportional to Ax by D, area by D. Okay, so here area is scaled by 1 by alpha square, and so whatever this thickness D is there, it is scaled by 1 by alpha. Okay, so therefore Cx, therefore Cx is equal to, Cx is proportional to Ax by D, or Cx is equal to K into Ax by D. So Ax into 1 by alpha square. So this is for area. Okay, because area is nothing but what? It is a product of length into width. Both length width are scaled by alpha, 1 by alpha, 1 by alpha. So therefore total area is scaled by 1 by alpha square. Okay, so while discussing the gate area, we have done it. So both length width are scaled by same parameter 1 by alpha. So that's why total area will be scaled by 1 by alpha square. Similarly, this D is scaled by 1 by alpha. So therefore 1 by alpha, 1 alpha will be getting cancelled. So therefore Cx is nothing but Kax by D 1 by alpha, or this value is nothing but Cx. So Cx into 1 by alpha. Okay, so after applying the scaling factors, whatever the parasitic capacitance is there, Cx it is scaled by 1 by alpha. Then fifth parameter, it is carrier density in the channel. Carrier density in the channel indicated by Q on. Okay. The expression for Q on is Q equal to CV. Okay, C is nothing but C naught. V is nothing but it is the VGS, gate to source applied voltage. So Q on is the product of C naught into VGS. Okay, so Q naught represents Q on. Q on represents average channel, average charge per unit area in the channel. Okay, so it is a charge, average charge per unit area in the channel. Now in this, whatever C naught is there, it is scaled by beta, and VGS. VGS is scaled by 1 by beta. All voltages are scaled by 1 by beta. Okay. So C naught, I think previously we have discussed about the C naught. Okay, here, gate capacitance per unit area. Okay, gate capacitance per unit area C naught is scaled by beta. Okay, so the same thing is used in the Q on also. So in Q on, C naught already it is known that when it is scaled, it is represented by C naught into beta. Now only now VGS is scaled by 1 by beta. So therefore this beta and beta cancels. So Q on is nothing but C naught into VGS into 1. So therefore the scaling factor for particularly this parameter is 1 only. Okay, so the scaling factor for carrier charge density is 1. Then channel resistance R on. Okay. Now channel resistance R on is given by L by W into 1 by Q on into mu. Okay. The channel resistance R on equal to length by width into 1 divided by Q on into mu. Now in this, length and width are scaled by 1 by alpha, 1 by alpha. Q on is scaled by 1 as just now previously discussed, and mu is nothing but mobility factor. It's a constant. It is just similar to that of epsilon. Okay, it doesn't have any scaling factor. Okay. So therefore, for L it is 1 by alpha, width is 1 by alpha, so these two will be cancelled. For Q on it is 1 only. Therefore, R on is L by W 1 by Q on into mu. So again, for channel on resistance also, the scaling factor remains 1 only. It means R on is not changed. Even you apply the scaling parameter or the scaling factors are not going to change the channel on resistance. Similarly, the carrier density in the channel, it is also not changed. Then what is its influence on the gate delay TD? So gate delay TD, we know that it is directly proportional to on resistance and into CG value. Okay, because tau is equal to R into C. So R is nothing but on resistance R on, C is nothing but gate capacitance CG. So now for R on, scaling factor is 1. So therefore R on is scaled by 1. The gate capacitance Cg is scaled by beta by alpha square. So it was previously derived. The gate capacitance Cg, it is scaled by beta by alpha square. So now that is simply applied here. That's all. So gate capacitance Cg is multiplied by beta by here, beta by alpha square. Okay. So therefore now TD is proportional to, now group this, R on into 1 is R on only, R on into Cg, this into beta by alpha square. So therefore now the scaling factors of CG, gate capacitance, are obviously going to uh, scale even the delay also, because delay directly depends on product of resistance and capacitance. If CG is scaled down, obviously the gate delay will be scaled up. Now since R on is scaled by 1, therefore the scaling factor of the gate capacitance is the only one which is going to scale the delay time TD also. So thus now totally the delay time TD is scaled by beta by alpha square. Okay. Then one more parameter is there. It is maximum operating frequency F naught. Maximum operating frequency F naught. So whether our scaling factors are going to apply the maximum operating frequency. Okay, so that is checked here. So this is defined as F naught equal to W by L. Again, the channel dimension will come here. F naught equal to W by L into mu C naught VDD by CG. This is what is the expression for F naught. So therefore, now again, individual scaling factors are applied for W, L, C naught, CG as well as VDD. Mu is a constant parameter. Okay? So therefore, W has its scaling parameter. Length is also scaled. C naught can be scaled. VDD can be scaled, and CG can be scaled, except mu. Now, um, okay. So here, as F is inversely proportional to delay time, okay, so F naught is inversely proportional to delay time TD. Therefore, if delay is scaled by beta by alpha square, then its inverse F naught is scaled by alpha square by beta. That's all. So no need to individually do it. Okay. So if it's a time part, that is TD is scaled by beta by alpha square, then the frequency F, which is nothing but 1 by T, okay, so that will be scaled by its inverse alpha square by beta. Okay, so with that concept, the scaling factor for the maximum operating frequency is alpha square by beta. Alpha square by beta it is. Then there is a one more parameter, saturation current IDSS. Saturation current IDSS. So IDSS is first defined as C naught, okay, mu W C oxide by 2L into VGS minus VT whole square. So we know this. saturation drain current equation. Okay. Now here it is checked whether the scaling of remaining parameters like width, length, and these voltages, is it going to affect even IDSS also? Okay. So therefore, this is our saturation drain current expression. Now in this, both voltages VGS as well as VT are scaled by 1 by beta. Okay. Then C naught is scaled by beta. Okay. So for C naught already it was derived. So C naught is nothing but gate capacitance per unit area it is. So C naught is scaled by beta. So individually now we know the values. Okay, so VGS VT 1 by beta and C naught is scaled by beta. And obviously for W and L we know they are 1 by L only. Okay, W is scaled by 1 by alpha, length is scaled by 1 by alpha. So therefore now replacing C naught by its scaled down parameter beta into C naught, W by W into 1 by alpha, and length by L into 1 by alpha. Similarly, VGS is scaled down by 1 by beta times of VGS. VT is also scaled by 1 by beta times of VT. Then okay, you can cancel some of the terms. So 1 by alpha, these two will get cancelled. Okay, so here 1 by beta square comes as a common factor. 1 beta will cancel with this. So remaining is 1 beta into mu W C oxide by 2L VGS minus VT whole square. This is nothing but our IDSS equation. So therefore, it is 1 by beta into IDSS. Okay, so if your beta, assume that beta is equal to 2, then if beta is equal to 2, then IDSS will be reduced by 2. Initially, if IDSS is 1 milliampere, later it will be 0.5 milliamperes. Okay, so this result shows that whenever the various geometrical parameters or the device dimensions as well as the applied voltages are scaled down, it has a direct impact on the resulting saturation drain current also. IDS is also scaled down. So it is not possible to expect the same level of saturation current even after scaling down the various dimensions. So whenever W, that is width of the channel, length of the channel, as well as oxide capacitance, as well as applied gate voltage, and even the threshold voltage of the device itself. Okay, if they are all scaled down, obviously the resulting drain current is also reduced. Okay, now in this case, it is the saturation drain current IDSS will be scaled down by factor 1 by beta. This is one. Then there is one more factor here. It is current density J. Current density J. So current density J is nothing but IDSS by A. That is saturation drain current per unit area. Current density J is nothing but saturation drain current per unit area. Therefore, now in this, both are scalable parameters. IDSS is also scaled, and of course, area can also be scaled. So IDSS, as just now previously derived, it is scaled by 1 by beta. And obviously, A is nothing but product of length into width. Okay, so length can be scaled by 1 by alpha, width can be scaled by 1 by alpha. So totally, area term, wherever you have the area, it is scaled by 1 by alpha square only. So therefore, now as these two parameters can be scaled down, it results in, so there is no common factor to cancel here. So therefore, IDSS by A into, so alpha square by beta. Okay. So therefore, current density, it is scaled down by a factor alpha square by beta. So that is as device dimension is getting shrinked. Okay. So current per unit area is also reduced. It is also scaled down alpha, and its value is alpha square by beta times our saturation drain current is scaled down. Okay. That is one. We have one more here, switching energy per gate. Switching energy per gate, EG. So this EG is defined as CG by 2 into VDD whole square. That is, whenever you are calculating the switching energy, this is the expression. But now in this, if other parameters are scaled down, like CG can be scaled and VDD can also be scaled, then what is its impact on the energy, EG value? Okay, so obviously Eg is also going to change. So because we know that gate capacitance is scaled down by beta by alpha square. It was previously derived. For gate capacitance, scaling factor is beta by alpha square, okay, into Cg. Now VDD, all voltages VDD, VGS and VT, they are all scaled by 1 by beta. So here 1 by beta into VDD whole square. So divide by 2. So therefore, simplifying this, here 1 by beta square you are going to get. Okay, so take out the constant terms, Cg VDD square by 2, this into, so 1 beta beta will get cancelled. So remaining terms are, so this part is nothing but Eg into 1 by alpha square into beta. So that is the meaning is here, whenever the parameters of this expression are scaled down, so obviously the entire Eg, okay, so per gate energy required for switching, it is also scaled down, and its factor is 1 by alpha square into beta. Okay? So this is one of the important parameters in case of MOS. Now last three are related to some power dissipations and all. Here, the first one is power dissipation per gate. It is power dissipation per gate. Now in CMOS circuits, this PG is defined as sum of PGS plus PGD, okay, at source and drains. Now in turn, PGS is nothing but VDD square by R on, and PGD is nothing but EG into F naught. Okay, so these two have their own definitions. PGS is VDD square by R on, and PGD is EG by F naught. So now here VDD is a term which is scaled. R1, R on, that is on resistance, it is also a scalable parameter. Of course, its scaling factor is 1 only. Okay. So therefore, when you apply scaling factor for VDD, it will be 1 by beta square into VDD square. Okay. So VDD is scaled by 1 by beta. So VDD square is nothing but 1 by beta square divided by R on. Okay. Therefore, for PGS, the total scaling factor will be 1 by beta square times of PGS. Then coming to this PGD, PGD is nothing but EG into F naught. Okay. Now both EG and F naught are scalable. So just now we have seen that the energy, okay, required for gate switching. So EG is scaled by parameter 1 by alpha square times of beta. Okay, so EG is scaled by 1 by alpha square into beta. Similarly, maximum operating frequency F naught, okay, it is nothing but it's the inverse of TD. Okay, so for F naught, scaling factor is alpha square by beta. So therefore, EG is scaled by 1 by alpha square beta. F naught, after scaling, it becomes alpha square by beta into F. Therefore, now simplifying this, EG into F naught, we will group these two terms together. So here alpha square cancels. So we have 1 by beta square. Therefore, now this PGD term is scaled by 1 by beta square. This is nothing but PGD. Okay, so therefore the new value of PGD is PGD into 1 by beta square. Therefore, both PGS and PGD are scaled by same parameter 1 by beta square. Therefore, the overall value, okay, so now we have seen now PGS, PGD individually, how they are scaled. PGS is also scaled by 1 by beta square. PGD is also scaled by 1 by beta square. Therefore, overall PG, power dissipation per gate. Okay, so what is its scaling factor? So PG equal to 1 by beta square times of PGS plus 1 by beta square times of PGD. Okay, that is equal to 1 by beta square is a common factor, PGS plus PGD. Okay, so this is the type of PG. So therefore, whenever PGS and PGD are individually scaled by 1 by beta square, the overall power dissipation per gate PG will be scaled by 1 by beta square. 1 by beta square. So this is how we have to derive. Then there is one more power dissipation parameter. It is power dissipation per unit area. It is PA. Power dissipation per unit area, PA. So PA is defined as PG by AG. Okay. So PG divided by AG. Now just now we have derived for PG. PG can be scaled by a factor 1 by beta square. So therefore PA is equal to 1 by beta square into PG. This PG can be scaled like this, 1 by beta square into PG. Similarly, AG, that is a gate, this was a first factor. Okay, gate area. So obviously gate area, it will be 1 by alpha square into AG. So both numerator and denominator are scalable in this. So AG is scaled by 1 by alpha square. Okay. Simplifying this, it is alpha square by beta square into PG by AG. So whenever PG and AG are individually scaled like this, the overall power dissipation per unit area will be scaled by factor alpha square by beta square. That's why PA is scaled by alpha square by beta square ratio. This is one parameter. And there is one more, last one, it is power speed product PT. Power speed product PT. Okay, so PT is defined as PG into TD. PG into TD. PG is nothing but the very first one, power dissipation per gate. And for PG, the scaling factor is 1 by beta square. So therefore here that we will substitute. Okay, so PG is scaled by 1 by beta square into PG. Similarly, this is the delay factor TD. The delay factor TD, as we have previously derived it, delay factor TD. So for TD, okay, TD is scaled by beta by alpha square. It is called what? The gate delay TD, okay, beta by alpha square. So therefore, using this, now substitute it. Okay, so this is for PG term, this is for the TD term. So TD is multiplied by beta by alpha square. It is its scaling factor. So wherever common terms are, one beta, beta will get cancelled. Alpha square, it remains same. So therefore, PT, that is power speed product, it is also scaled down by a factor, okay, 1 by alpha square into beta. So group the terms PG and TD together. The remaining constants are 1 by, here 1 divided by alpha square into beta, alpha square into beta. So therefore, the total power speed product PT, its scaling factor is 1 by beta into alpha square. Thus, the power speed product PT is scaled down by a factor 1 by alpha square beta. Okay. So now these are the various parameters associated with the CMOS VLSI circuitry. Okay, that's why the topic is what MOS, uh, scaling of MOS devices circuits. So starting with the simple one, that is gate area, AG, then gate capacitance per unit area C naught. So totally we have listed 14 different parameters. Then gate capacitance CG and parasitic capacitance CX. Okay. So now once the scaling of any one parameter starts, okay, it has its effect on every other parameter. So only in this list we see that the channel on resistance, its scaling factor is 1, as well as the carrier density in the channel Q1, its scaling factor is 1. Okay, so remaining all other parameters, they are scaled up. Similarly, the delay. Okay, so this is important. Now, this was the previous we were discussing, that is how to reduce the delays. There were 3 methods also, using BiCMOS drivers, using cascaded inverters, using super buffers. Okay. So other than this, whenever here we see that gate capacitance is scaled down. Okay, so gradually the delay time TD is also scaled down by a factor beta by alpha. Okay. So this is operating frequency. So whenever the device dimensions are shrinking, so it has an impact on operating frequency also, F naught. So F naught is also scaled down by a factor alpha square by beta. Okay, then it has a direct impact on the drain currents also. Now Here we have listed two currents. One is current saturation drain current, other one is a current density. So when ISS is reducing, obviously current per unit area is also going to reduce by a factor alpha square by beta. Okay. So then remaining important are the power dissipations. One is power dissipation at gate, power dissipation per unit area, and this is power speed product. Okay. So these are all the figure of merits: power speed product, operating frequency. Okay. So that's why the miniaturization process, okay, that is scaling down process of various device parameters, is going to have its direct impact on various figure of merits, and that is shown here. Okay. So provided you have alpha and beta values, you can verify numerically how uh, the various device parameters, including all gate areas as well as capacitances as well as power related terms as well as various currents. Okay, so how all the values are going to be changed due to the application of this scaling parameters. So this was the topic regarding scaling of MOS circuits and what are the various parameters which are scalable and what are their scaling factors. So I'll take up a new topic in the next session.